And I've been assured I'll never be an expert. And I'm okay with that because I know and I have the connections here in Pueblo on who to ask. One thing we need to do with the Fountain Creek is make sure that we are holding Colorado Springs accountable for the safety when it comes to Fountain Creek. I recently went with the Pueblo Board of Waterworks on their mountain tour to see exactly the spot where our water here in Pueblo comes from. I was amazed at the Pueblo Board of Waterworks' foresight in investing in infrastructure and systems to protect all our water rights here in Pueblo. I know, as your next state legislator, I'm going to need to work hand in hand with them to be sure the decisions that are being made at the state are protecting our river basin here in the Arkansas Basin. We need to make sure that no matter what decisions we're making on water statewide, that we are providing clean water here in Pueblo County for our agriculture, our municipalities, and also our recreation. I don't have to tell you all about the great recreation District 46 has related to water. We have Lake Pueblo, we have the kayak park, and we even have some of the best fly fishing, or so I've been told. I'm not a fly fisherman. We have to work to make sure that we also protect the communities downstream from us as well as good neighbors.
Brian?
I have done a lot of learning lately. I've attended 2 of the Arkansas River Basin roundtable discussions. This has been a very interesting deal because of the fact that there is so many laws and regulations protecting the water that I've got a lot of learning to do, and I look forward to learning the water issue. I too also have some connections at the waterworks, and I hope to be able to use those as well. Thank you.
Okay, Daneya, you'll handle this question first. We've all heard a lot about veterans care or the problems with veterans care, and although that's in many ways a federal issue, what else could the legislature do to help that situation?
It absolutely is an issue at the federal level, but I do understand here in the state, we need to make sure that we are taking care of our veterans every day. I am a granddaughter of a veteran, my brother-in-law is a veteran, and I stand by them and know that we need to protect them every step of the way. One of the things that we can do at the state level is make sure that our VA hospitals here, if they need some help, we need to figure out how the state can help them to function better. We need to make sure that veterans not only have the health care that they deserve, but that we can work hard to make sure that they can have jobs when they come back from Afghanistan and those that have already presently served. Thank you.
Ryan?
What a great question. You know, being tonight's September 11th, or today is actually September 11th, we still have men and women fighting for us today. I will not only sponsor a bill, but I will fight to sponsor any bill that has to do with our veterans. Thank you.
Daneya?
One thing we can do at the state level is it goes back to my discussion earlier about improving access to mental health. A number of these veterans are coming back with real mental health issues, PTSD and depression. We need to find ways to make sure that these veterans have access to the health care and the mental health care that they deserve and should get. We need to work hard to make sure that they can move forward with their lives once they return from war.
Okay. Trying to keep my order here. See, Daneya, you'll answer this one first. Many decisions at the State House are driven by party leadership and party politics. How will you balance your party's demands against the wishes of your constituents?
Although I am a very proud Democrat, above all of that, I am a proud Puebloan. When many of my generation decided to leave, I decided to stay and improve this community and work hard every day to do that. When it comes to decisions made at the state level, my first instinct is going to be make sure that whatever bill it is impacts Pueblo County in a positive manner before party politics.
Okay. Brian?
First things first, I'm a Puebloan. You know, I'm a proud Republican. I'm happy to say that. I'm able to know that we're not always going to agree. I'm sure that the Republican Party probably doesn't always agree with what I have to say, and that's okay. That's what makes us Americans. going up to the state level, I know that I'm going to be able to work with not only the Republicans, but I'm also going to be able to work with the Democrats, unaffiliated, and all other parties that are now coming out of the woodworks here. I don't want to play that party game, but I do want to represent Pueblo County well. Thank you.
Having lived in Pueblo and worked in Pueblo my entire life, I have made very close relationships with people from other parties, some of them even my own family, and that's okay. I forgive them. The point is that we're all working together to make Pueblo a better place, and I appreciate the work we do here in Pueblo on a bipartisan level, and we'll continue to do that at the state level.
Okay, our final question, Brian, you'll handle it first. In recent years, our delegations have had some success in getting funding for institutions like the Colorado State Fair and Colorado State University at Pueblo. How will you continue that?
Once again, this is going to be an issue that I'm not familiar with, but I'm willing to learn this issue. I'm willing to protect the Colorado State Fair. Without protecting this Colorado State Fair, the fairgrounds will just become a ghost town. I think it's very important that we keep that fair right here, but I also think it's important that we maintain that fairgrounds year-round with different events. So anything that I can do and would be able to do, I would do it 100% to protect anything in the fairgrounds.
Okay. Daneya?
I will absolutely work to make sure we keep the Colorado State Fairgrounds right here in Pueblo where it belongs. I will fight to make sure that that happens, and when people in Denver decide that they want to take it from us, they're going to run into some walls if I'm elected. We also need to look hard at CSU Pueblo and make sure that the state is fairly investing back in CSU Pueblo. With the late things that were happening last year at CSU Pueblo, we need to take a hard look and make sure that we are providing a higher education system for our kids here in Pueblo, Colorado, and around southern Colorado. We are their school. We need to make sure that we are giving them the proper education and the opportunities made available to other students across the state.
You good? Okay, that brings us to our closing remarks from each one of the candidates. You'll recall that Brian won the coin toss. He elected to conclude the event, so we'll begin with Daneya.
Thank you all again for your time. We all know that our kids in Pueblo aren't playing on an even playing field. Schools in Pueblo receive less money for students than wealthier school districts. Until we fight for real reform of how our schools are funded, we'll never be able to fix our education problem. As your next state representative, I will fight for our students in K-12 and higher education. How can we expect our children to succeed when many of their parents are struggling just to survive? We all know half of Pueblo lives in poverty and over 7% are still unemployed. Pueblo deserves better. We need more jobs here in Pueblo, good jobs. Jobs that pay a living wage, jobs that offer affordable access to health care, and jobs that offer a pension. As your next state legislator, I will continue to fight to keep jobs here in Colorado and keep them here in Pueblo and push our friends to the north to take a look at the great resource of the Pueblo workforce. We have the will, the determination of great workers right here in Pueblo ready to get jobs done. We don't need to outsource any jobs. It's time for real reform when we talk about energy costs. Pueblo is listed as one of the poorest cities along the Front Range, yet we're charged the highest energy rates in the same area. As your next state representative, I will fight to hold energy companies accountable. I also want to talk about the fact that I have been working in this community and working hard for this community alongside our neighbors for the last 15 years, making sure Pueblo's voice is heard and making sure that Pueblo gets its fair shot. I have been active in this community and will continue to be active for this community at the state level. I will fight and I will push to make sure that Denver doesn't get all of the goodies, that Pueblo gets its fair share and then some. For these reasons, I'm humbly standing before you today and asking for your support and vote this November. I want to thank you again for joining us tonight, and thank you to the Pueblo Chieftain, Action 22, Pueblo Memorial Hall, and the PCC Center for New Media for putting on this event. To my supporters and friends and my family, thank you all for being here tonight. It means a lot to me. And to my partner who had to work tonight, Thank you for being my rock and for your continued support. I appreciate it. Pueblo, I will be your next state legislator.
Okay, Brian?
I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I also want to thank everybody for watching at home. I want to thank my opponent for tonight's event. We need to make sure that each and every parent knows that when they are at work providing for their family, that their kids are getting the best education possible. We need to reward local businesses, not overtax them or overregulate them. When you speak, I listen, because this isn't the Brian Mader plan, it's our plan. We need better education, lower energy rates, more public safety, and to protect our water rights. I'm excited for this journey, and with your vote, I can begin on our plan, the people's plan of Pueblo County. I want to thank my wife, Lexi, my daughters, Amber, Kristen, and Aviana, for their support during my campaign and allowing me to serve this great community. Many people tell me, Brian, speak from the heart. Well, tonight I have. Lastly, I want to leave you with this thought. What do you believe is more important out of your state representative? My opponent is a social activist, and maybe a good one at that, but I'm a businessman. I know how to create jobs and work with others. I need your support this November, and I will be honored to have your vote and give you a voice in Denver. Thank you all. God bless each and every one of you. Have a good night.
Thank you all for joining us this evening for this forum. We're going to take a bit of a break, and then we'll come back with the forum for the Colorado State Senate District 3. Thank you and good evening.